In college tennis, a coach can pretty much coach at any time during the match as long as they don't disrupt play. Or maybe it's as long as they don't get caught disrupting play by the officials. Anyway, in my 25 years of college coaching, I've seen people, including myself, go on court to coach, but there's different kinds of coaching. So I'm going to give you 10 types of college coaching on why someone goes on the court. Number one, a college coach may go on the court to coach, and that means to sit on a player's court. May do it just for the college coach to avoid distractions. So maybe there's a gallery of people, friends, family, whatever, and the coach just talks a lot. I don't know anybody like that, maybe me, but say the coach just talks too much and gets engaged in conversations, loses focus in the match. So the coach may go onto the court just to avoid being distracted by fans, spectators, donors, administrators, and so forth. So sometimes I go on the court just to get away from other people. So that's number one. Number two is you could go on court for some real coaching. That means you're going to go on court, coach up your player with tactics and maybe, hopefully you don't have to coach technique, but just but kind of tactics and how they should be playing this opponent, or maybe looking at sort of weaknesses of the opponent. So that's real on court coaching. That's number two. Number three is a college coach may go on court just for some emotional coaching. So, sometimes you got to hold the player's hands. The emotions, they're wigging out. Maybe if you use the Myers-Briggs, they're feelers instead of thinkers. So they need you to help them hold their hand across the finish line, to keep their hands in the fire. That would be emotional coaching. 4, this was one of my favorites. Provoking the other coach to coach. So I had a friend, and his name was Peter Dobb. He coached at William and Mary, and I kind of knew which players on his team really didn't perform well when he was coaching them. Okay, so what I would do is I would go to that court, and Peter always thought that I had some kind of secret about coaching. So if I went to that court, often Peter would go to that court. And then Peter would start coaching up his player and just screw the poor fella up. So anyway, that's called provoking the other coach into coaching. That really worked well with Peter Dobb. Didn't work that well with Paul Costin at Virginia Commonwealth. He just kind of sits there and he doesn't really give a damn about what you're doing. But Peter would. So Peter would be part of the show, go to the court, coach his guy up. And his guy didn't really connect with him, so the performance would go down. So provoking the other coach to coach. Number 5, lowering the opponent's level of play. Sometimes a coach may go to that player's court because maybe there's a history. Maybe the guy kind of got tight in a particular match, or this opponent. It would bring back memories, when that coach would, come on the court. So, and then that would lead to maybe that player would if they thought about the past and some of their lackluster performances, just the present, that coach would sort of get those memories going again, and maybe the kid would lower in their performance. Also, number 6 here is coaching your own player. Sometimes, your kid's not giving a good effort, so this is called just leaving the court pissed. And I've seen a lot of coaches do this one. I didn't do this one as much, but they'd be on the court coaching their player, and their player's just not sticking with the strategy or just being an emotional midget. So what you do is you just walk off the court pissed. And then that kind of sends a message to your player. So we call that walking off the court pissed coaching. So anyway, then you got your delegating coaching. I'm a big fan of this one. So delegating coaching means typically you can only have 3 coaches coaching at one time. So maybe you have your assistant coach connects better with certain players, or maybe you have a designated player that connects well with certain players. So in that case, that would be delegate. So you're delegating the coaching, and that's effective as long as you put the right people in the right spots. So all that has to be kind of predetermined. You're not just pulling it out the hat of the day of the match. The 9th one, or I'm sorry, the 8th one, adjacent court coaching. So I've always found that if I'm sitting 1 court away, then that helps me focus on that court. If I was on top of that court, maybe I'm too close and it's hard to see what's going on, or seeing the depth of the ball, or what shots are being selected. So adjacent court coaching, it also, that player that you're 1 court away from, you're still giving them confidence because you're not holding their hand through the match or so forth. But if you're doing adjacent court coaching well, that player knows that you're into the match and you know the score at all times and so forth. Another good one is, this one's just the parents are in town. So sometimes you got your players and the parents are in town, so you got to show that kid some love, provided they're playing in the top 6, and you got to go sit on that court just to make the parents feel good, because more than likely you've been in the living room or on the phone promising the parents this and this in order to recruit the kid. So sometimes you just got to suck it up and go on to the court and sit there because the parents are there. So there you go. There's some of the reasons for on-court coaching in college tennis. I'm sure college coaches have more. If you would, just write them down in the comments below the video here. There's a little comment section. Put some comments down. And also, thanks for subscribing to Cummings Athletics on YouTube.